So I'm just going to quickly introduce Binara. So glad that you guys came to this session, this pop-in session. It's a sunny day here in Finland, at least, and we've had Easter holiday, and that's why we didn't have the pop-in session yesterday, which I hope was not too confusing. But yeah, so today Binara was super eager as well, and I thank you, Binara, for taking this leadership as well in order to lead today's session. You will introduce yourself as well with what you've been up to, what you've been doing, and your history as a HundrED Youth Ambassador, because you've been here with HundrED for a few years already. And yeah, so I'm as well eager to see what you guys think about throughout this session. So you can join the chat, ask questions, engage, and then yeah, let's have a nice pop-in session. Up to you, Binara.
Thank you very much, Miss Anna, for that lovely introduction about me. So, hi everyone. It's really nice to see you all here. We can see like around 8 participants. It's amazing to see you all guys join with me in this pop-in session today. So first of all, I would like to warmly welcome Miss Anna and everyone else who participated in this pop-in session. And I want to thank Miss Anna as well for giving me this opportunity to host this pop-in session today. It's a really lovely opportunity, and I hope to have made the most of it. And before we go ahead with the session, I would like to give a small introduction about myself. So a little bit about me. My name is Binara, and I'm currently living in the UK, and it's actually quite sunny today. For the last few weeks, it's been raining, so it's a bit of a nice weather here. I'm the committee lead in the youth committee in HundrED after my roles previously as a youth ambassador around 3 years ago, and then as an emerging leader last year. And during those past 2 years in our community, I've learned a lot. I've talked to many people, and I was able to reach the committee lead post, which I'm really happy about. As well as that, I'm also the founder of the Greenhouse Foundation. And yeah, so firstly, before we go ahead with the session, I would like to remind about HundrED's aims and mission. So to really get ourselves in the right headspace, we at HundrED are dedicated to helping every single child flourish by giving them access to quality education. We also believe that with education innovations, we can transform school systems and equip students with the skills to thrive as global citizens. And the world is definitely full of different hardworking educators who are driving innovative, impactful, and scalable approaches to education. And I think our mission at HundrED is to give them recognition and visibility they deserve. And I definitely seen this happen because a couple of years ago, we've always had like youth innovations, and we always got a chance to review them. And I was always amazed by so many empowering, inspiring youth and people who promoted those youth innovations to help give access to every child around the world to equal education, as well as for other different aims. So it was really interesting. And next, since you guys might be wondering, what is the Greenhouse Foundation? I would like to introduce about my own foundation, which I had the pleasure of founding a couple of years ago. So Greenhouse Foundation, in my words, I think it's a nonprofit foundation that helps prepare, motivate, and guide the youth in order to create a developed, a sustainable, an understanding, equally treated, and peaceful generation for a future world, while encouraging environmentally friendly innovations, eco-friendly innovations, while giving a priority towards protecting our nature, which we think is one of the main goals I focus in my foundation. So today's topic is that I wanted to do the pop-in session originally about was social impact projects, because I thought they were like really interesting to talk about, and they could really help give a big impact to the world. And before we get on with this serious and but interesting topic, I wanted to do a small icebreaker session that would really get us all engaging in a fun mood. because I've seen this done in like so many of the 100 sessions before, and I've always wanted to do one of them. I think it's a really, really amazing way to get every single one engaging, because obviously when you join, you might be a little bit nervous to talk, and so having a icebreaker session can really be a great way to get everyone friendly and familiar with each other. So there were lots to choose from, and one of the ones I wanted to do today was called Just One Lie, or Two Truths, One Lie, whichever you prefer. As the name suggests, we basically tell 3 things about ourselves, which 2 are truths and 1 is lie, and the others have to guess it, which one is the lie. And it's really funny because we get to know about each other, but we also get to know how good our lying skills are. So I'd like to start. I love dogs. I love pizza a lot. And my favorite show for now, I have a lot of favorite shows, but my favorite show for now on Netflix is Wednesday. So can you guys guess what's the lie?
You can also type your answer if you don't feel like turning your microphone on.
You can also type the answer. Nope. It's not the dogs one. Did someone say something?
What was the Netflix thing? Maybe that you're.
Nah, no, it's not. It's not the next one.
Okay, then it's the.
Yeah, it's a pizza. It's a pizza one. I think that really becomes an issue because when I'm usually out with my friends and we all have to order something, and then I'm like, I can't get the pizza.
Okay.
Just don't like it as much as everyone else does, but yeah, you get the idea. That's
Interesting.
Miss Anna,
who would like to go next? Like, you can also like raise your digital hand, and then we can go in that order. If not, then I'll go. Well, I am half Mexican, half Finnish. I have lived in over 20 different houses or apartments, and I have run half a marathon. Which one is the lie?
I'm debating on the last one, the last 2 ones. Because I know the first one.
Okay. Clara was right. Yashiko is right. Yes, you guys. No, I have not run half a marathon. Nope.
Yeah.
Tarup.
Can I try?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I hate cats. I like track and field, and I'm Lebanese.
Well, is it the second one?
No, it's the cats one.
Okay, Fiona and I got it right. Is there anyone else who would like to participate?
Yeah. If anyone else likes to, I think I saw it. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
You can also type them down if you want to. If not, we can continue with your presentation, Binara.
Yeah, I think I'll just wait for like a minute if anyone wants to go ahead. You
Sure.
can, like, type in the chat or unmute your mic if you feel.
Alina.
Okay, so I like training.
Drawing?
Yeah.
What?
What did you say? Drawing?
No, I like training.
Training.
Okay, I love the tomatoes, and I like to watch The Flash.
Flesh?
The Flash.
I think it's a show, isn't it?
Ah,
Yes, that's a TV show. Yeah.
okay.
Yes, it's tomatoes. I can like yun.
So funny. Well guessed, guys.
Yeah, I think that was
Okay. And Fariha also wrote it down like Gazalai, Fariha, I can play the ukulele, I love swimming, or I am a poet.
Is it the poet one?
All of these are like really cool.
That one's difficult. It's the second one.
Ukulele? I don't know. Which one is it, Fariha? Oh, now okay, swimming. So you can play the ukulele and you're a poet. I would love to read some of your poetry. Okay. Okay, really cool. Thanks for
Yeah.
this. Yeah, we would love to read some of your poetry, Fariha.
Definitely. And I think finding your talent is going to come in use halfway through the session because we have a specific what we're going to talk about. So yeah, that was definitely really fun. I think is someone else as well putting a line.
Vivan, I hate dogs. I have written a book, or I like Formula One. I think no one can hate dogs.
You walk into a dog lover right here. Formula One? No, I feel like people like Formula One. You have written a book. I feel like the second one.
So which one is it, Vivan? Okay, the first one is a lie. We knew. Great. Thank you. We can maybe we can continue with your presentation, and I loved as well like this bridge as well with Fariha's like poetry part, because at some point you're going to mention as well like how as well art and creativity goes into the social impact project creation.
Yeah, art and media really does play a big part in it, and we're really going to get back into the session. I think that was really fun. Like we got to know so many things about different people. I really loved it.
I loved it.
So as I said earlier, back in the session, something I noticed in the HundrED community in sessions we've been doing past, I think the introduction session, we were giving a larger focus on SDG goals, which if you don't know is Sustainable Development Goals. And as the youth generation, we're often told that we are going to be taking the future world. And so I think as the youth generation, we need to start creating projects to contribute to that. So in session today, I'm hoping to have accomplished by the end on helping you guys understand what's a social impact project. So just what does it mean to have a social impact project, and what are the factors or the steps we need to be concerned about. My own personal experiences and examples to help give you guys a brief outline on it, as well as that how we can get you guys to get motivated to start your own social impact project. So those are the sort of session objectives I'm hoping to have achieved by the end of this. So first of all, what is a social impact project? I'm sure you guys must have heard it like a lot because it's on media and you hear it all the time, and you hear it like when inspiring youth people on social media, they share about it, and you're just like, what is a social impact project? So I searched and found the proper definition to be that a social impact project can be defined as a project that helps to cause a positive effect on people and really help find a way to give out a good meaning to the world for the better. And in my words, I think it's basically about a project where its main focus is on developing and empowering our youth to be compassionate and impactful leaders in the world for our future generations. Or in other words, basically finding out about a topic you are passionate about and creating a project either individually or with the help of your family, your friends, your relations to help solve a global issue and create a positive impact to the society. So it's really about finding an issue, then finding a solution to it, which is your social impact goal, with social impact project, which you would have hopefully helped to solve that issue. And that's really what it is. It's pretty simple, but it can really become a huge impact to lots of people. So based on my own personal experience in conducting social impact projects in HundrED, because I've done some before, and through my own foundation as well, I observed all the social impact projects I did, and then I found 7 similarities in them, 7 main steps that I think would help you guys to start your own social impact project. So the 7 steps I found out about was finding your topic or passion, finding something you're interested about, finding something that really sparks in you, digging into your soul and just finding that thing. And then what you're talented on, your abilities, talents, even your hobbies, anything you know you're good at. And your target audience. This is something a lot of people listen to in like business and media, and you hear it all the time. And target audience is really what you, the people or the age category you're focusing your social impact project on. And then means of approach, how you're going to approach that. Are you going to use art media? Are you going to use social media? All those questions you have to answer. And then social impact goal. What is your final outcome? What do you hope to have achieved by the end of your project to create an impact in society? Then putting that project into action, and finally recording data and sharing it with others, which I think is pretty vital, but it can also be an optional step for some of you. So let's go ahead with this. So the first one is finding your topic or passion. So when it comes to creating social impact projects, there are so many different topics we could think about. Just search the internet for global issues and you're going to get lists and lists of it. So there, you might be thinking, where do we start? Where is somewhere I could start to help get it? So personally, in my own social impact projects that I have done, I focused SDG-wise on sustainable development goals. I realized that I focus mainly on life below water because I've done some things on cleaning up beaches and coastal areas, so life underwater. I've done some on life on land, like planting trees. I've done on quality education because I'm always trying to find ways to make education more accessible to people. And I've also been a lot concerned about climate action. So I put a picture over here on some of the different goals. You can just search in the internet for sustainable development goals and you're going to get lots of it. So someone could do a project on no poverty and go to lesser developed countries to help give them more food, to help them give the basic needs they need to survive. Someone could do it on more renewable resources. They could promote things like hydroelectricity, solar power, geothermal energy, things that could make generating electricity more sustainable and efficient. And someone could do the same SDG goals I did, about conserving our nature, our world, and really protecting our nature. So they're like different goals you could go and search to and find what you are most passionate and interested about. You can also focus on things like mental health because not a lot of people talk about it, but it's definitely important for us regarding our physical and mental health. So things like different disorders like depression, anxiety, PTSD, different things that could concern mental health in someone. You could possibly get interested about that. You could even have different topics that focus more on helping youth and children develop. And I think that's definitely really important. And another great place to search is the internet. Like I said, you can obviously search for other projects and you can see what they're concerned about, and then you can get those topics if you're interested about it. You can talk to your friends, your family, your relations. You can talk to elders on what they think, and really just maybe list like 5 different topics you think you're pretty interested about, so that you know this is what my social impact project is probably going to be about. It could be about all of them, or just few of them, or just one of them. That's really entirely up to you. So like I mentioned, actually, if you guys have pen and paper, or even you could just write down a couple of these topics you're interested about, or just like keep in mind anything you're passionate about. Because by the end of the session, I'm actually hoping to give you guys a chance so that you can share these topics and hopefully even give a brief about a social impact project you've come up with. So I'm really hoping to have achieved that by the end of the session. So just keep in mind about all those different SDG goals or any topic that you'd like to talk about. So next up, we're going to talk about what you're talented on. And this is anything that could be from your talents to your hobbies to anything you're good at. It could be singing, it could be public speaking, writing stories, creating animations, anything that you're really good at. And you can, this whole section is about finding a way to connect your talents to finding a social impact project. And for example, I really love the environment since my childhood. I've always wanted to give them the message of protecting our Mother Nature to other people in society. And obviously, you can use different other talents to help give out a positive and inspiring impact. For example, let's say you're talented in doing animations, like I said earlier, then you could use a way of creating short animations with empowering messages to other people. I've seen so many on YouTube where they would do small animations on things like protecting our nature or things on like bullying or something that could really give out a good message to the world. Or you could write stories or poems like someone said in the icebreaker session. So if you're really good at writing poems, you could write about social topics, global topics to give out a message. You can even create a YouTube channel or a social media platform where you could showcase your talents throughout to give your message to a large amount of people. So actually, I would like to give a small idea on how I discovered using my abilities for social impacts. So when I was a little kid, I had a very big talent for scribbling, which eventually turned into drawing art and giving out speeches, singing, songwriting, writing stories, all the normal talents you have. And for that first, so I had this vision on my mind that I wanted to protect wanted to protect our nature. So first I started drawing art. I started creating posters and hanging them around. And then I realized it went out for some people. Some people understood the message. And then later, I started giving out speeches on conserving our nature to a larger audience than before. And I realized that also did an impact towards more people. But I started to think that this was still not enough because in my head, it wasn't going out to as many people as possible. I wanted it to go to everyone around the world. And I realized that people around the world were busy. Everyone had their own schedules and places to be. So I decided to spread the message in a short time to as many people as possible in the form of songs. And so to give you an idea, if you didn't know, I have my own original songs. And so I would like to share my first song at 12 years old called Wake Up Mom, where the lyrics, melody, singing, and acting were done by me. And I think this song was aimed to spread the message of protecting our Mother Nature, caring for her like our own mother. And I remember being incredibly happy to see my first song receive a 5-star commended award for its singing and songwriting from the UK Songwriting Contest 2020. So I would like to share this song now.
Where's that consoling breath that got me active? Those close arms that huddle me together, smile that lighten my life. Did you leave me alone? Did you leave me alone? You have fallen down. You have fallen down. We got more. hurt you, we burned you, we broke you and raped you, but you waited in silence. You gave us milk to make us grown up and strong. You gave us comfort to sleep on your lap. You let us do whatever we wanted to. We didn't think about the worth of you. Wake up, Mom. Wake up, Edmond. We hurt you, we burnt you, we broke you and raped you, but you waited in silence. You've given breath to us from your lungs. You treated us even when they got sick. You gave us all things for what we wanted to. What we meant was always danger to all. Wake up, Mom. Wake up, Edmond. We hurt you, we burnt you, we broke you and raped you, but you waited in silence. Your living room is just right in front of us. Your parenthood were caused by years. You and me no time to cry only for today. Let's draw together for savable more. Wake up, Mom. We'll never do that again. Mama, Mom. We'll never do that again. Wake up, Mom. We'll never do that again. Mama, Mom. We'll never do that We'll never do that again.
Wow, I agree with Grace, and such a catchy song by Nara, and like really important lyrics as well.
Thank you so much, Miss Anna. I really value your words. I think before I go on, I just need to check the chat box a bit. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who commented on it. Actually, I wanted to tell that the reason I shared that song was because I wanted to give you guys an idea on what sort of social impact project was, and to get you guys more motivated, because I think a lot of people think that a social impact project have to be a project. It doesn't have to. It can be a form of a song, a poem, a speech, an animation, anything really. It can be drama, even a show. It can be anything, as long as you know that your audience is going to get your message. So I want you guys to remember that. That's a really important thing too. And moving on, we have your target audience. So target audience is basically your primary target audience determines your means of approach to reach your social impact goal, as well as to establish the project throughout society. And as you can see, it's basically about, let's give you an example. Let's say you have a project on youth development, specifically on mental health. Your target audience would primarily be who you're focusing the project on. In this case, it would be youth and children. And I think finding your target audience is incredibly useful because it helps you to find a way to approach your social impact goal as well. And as examples given, it can be you, children, adults, elderly, any group age, anyone at all. It can even be general society. But the more specific you are in your youth audience, the more it helps you to really round up how you're going to approach them. So having a specific target audience instead of a general one is much more useful when it comes to creating a social impact. So there's also something else you guys can be concerned about is to what extent would your target audience be? So for example, if your target audience, let's say you're focusing on adults, then would you be focusing on adults that live in your local area, your local adults like your parents, your neighbors, or would it be adults in a city, in one city, or would it be in a country or worldwide? The more specific you are on your target audience and the more specific on what type of target audience you have, it's going to give you a better outline, a brief outline on what you should do to make sure your target audience understands the message you're trying to convey through your social impact project. And now, another thing I really wanted to get through this session was how to use art and media. And in my case, it's music. As you can see in the last song I showed, I love using music because I love music. I love using it to influence my social impact projects through the session. And in my previous song, you may remember me saying that I had selected the form of song to reach many people worldwide. I had used the language English. I had used the language English because obviously it is one of the most common languages in the world. But even then, there are people that don't know English. There are also young children who are too young to understand or speak English. So I had created my video concept to be as visual as possible so that it helps everyone to focus on giving the meaning to word by word. Someone who doesn't even know the alphabet could just look at the song and know exactly what I'm talking about because of pictures. So it's really about how detailed you could go. You need to think about fine details about a project because the finer you go, the more you're going to focus on how to give a huge impact through your social impact project. So I'm going to show you my second song a bit later. With the first one, if you compare my second song with the first song, you'd probably realize that even though it talks on an international topic, my first song's target audience was from small children to everyone to elderly. And similarly, my second song was also focusing on a global topic, but the target audience was a bit more specific. There was a specific age category. It was children to youth, because my second song was about bullying. And obviously, while older people do face it, I think more mature people know how to deal with it better, while youth and children are still vulnerable and they do not know exactly. So having a specific target audience can really help you focus on what meaning you're trying to give out. And throughout the video, I used actors my age, so my friends around 10 to 14-ish. And then we have the rhythm and the upbeat in the song so that it's catchy and people can quickly get through it. And there's also the casual clothing, the location being a school, because most bullying happen in school and education environments. And then there's also these were all used to match the age category and help the youth general really feel the emotion of the song. So I know this is kind of quick, but I wanted to showcase my second song, Baby Walk Your Fire Down, which was created as an awareness on the topic of bullying to help people understand that they don't need to be victims. They need to stand up for themselves against bullying. And similar to the first song, I helped do the singing, melody, video concept for the video. And actually, friends, this song was able to win a 5-star highly commended award for its lyrics in the UK Songwriting Contest 2022. So I think it really did help achieve its goal of giving a social impact. And I would like to showcase my song again to give you guys a bit more of an idea on exactly how to use music and art to help achieve your goal.
breaking down. It's tearing away like an explosion. Should I go while living everything? No, I'll stay and I will cry again. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa, down. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa, down. You want something like this, so try to break me through the night. So confide me now. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa, down. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa, down. You won't set me up again, so try to break me through the night. So confirm me now. The world is trembling in my hands. A strand in me is growing more. Only God is sure. This moon in my existence, so get ready to see more. Isn't going You couldn't have felt it in the same way when you sighed. When you tried to shut me through the night. You tried to escape it, but you couldn't begin. See as that, baby. Try again. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa, down. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. Whoa. Baby, walk your fire down. Baby, walk your fire down. So walk the fire down. Walk the fire down. Walk the fire down. Walk the fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Fire, baby. Baby, walk the fire down. Hey.
Wow, that song was literally fire.
Thank you so much, Miss Sana. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, I think I would really value if you guys could if you guys took anything from this session today, that will be amazing for me because it meant that you guys are gonna get an idea to help your own social impact project. So from any of those two songs I showed as an example, if you could get anything, that would be amazing, and I would really highly appreciate it. So the next step is to find your mean of approach to get your social impact project started. And in other words, it's about answering the questions on whether you will do your project individually or with the help of group members for a larger impact. Would you use offline approaches to practically engage other people to the project, like posters, leaflets, or would you use social media to connect with other like-minded people to get ideas on your project or even help them join the cause? For instance, around this year, I created a project called Pause Plastic Polythene Project. So it's like 4 Ps. So through my foundation, I did this project, and many of my members, including me, we decided to approach our target group, being the general society, but mostly adults and more mature people in cities and towns through posters, leaflets, and even talking to shopkeepers face to face on how they could use more sustainable packaging, example, cardboard, paper, and reusable packaging, unlike using plastic and polythene covering. So let's say someone can also, for example, if their focus is on conserving coastal life, they could create their project to clean beaches and to protect aquatic. And their means of approach would be to take the team members through offline means, for example, to collect any garbage, plastic, polythene things tossed around the beach and coastal areas. And usually when you have like a practical project like cleaning the beaches or planting trees, you probably need a larger crew to help get a lot done in a little time to give out the maximum effect and impact to people. And this is really useful because this can really help give a huge impact in your social impact project. And like we said, every single social impact project should have a social impact goal. So it's basically a defined endpoint you hope to have reached by the end of the project. So having a goal and then having a plan to reach it really helps because you know exactly what you hope to have accomplished and how to accomplish it. And it's always great to be over-prepared than under-prepared because you know what you're going to do rather than getting nervous and not really getting much done either. For example, let's say your project focuses on helping to conserve the nature. So the project you created on is to help plant trees in different local parks alongside your members. So your social impact goal shouldn't be something impossible, but it should be something that you know is going to give the maximum impact you possibly can. So probably in this instance, it's going to be planting 20 trees in 3 different parks. So you have created a lot of oxygen by planting basically 20 trees in 3 different parks. That is 60. So that's a lot of impact you're giving out. And by the end of the project, your goal should have probably been achieved so that you know you have given out a result from what you were hoping. To make this even a bit more easier to explain, as you can see in the pictures, last year, alongside my members, I created something called the Library Creation and Book Donation Project, where me and my team in our foundation were able to donate 500 plus books to a rural school in my country, Sri Lanka. And we were also able to renovate the library there. So we basically took small foundations from like a lot of people, collected them together to reach our social impact goal, which we then bought all the necessary books for education and reading for the students. And I think it was definitely worthwhile because at the end of the day, when I saw the smiles on their faces, reading the books we donated in the library that we helped renovate, it was definitely amazing. And I think another thing you should have hoped to achieve by the social impact goal is just genuine happiness for what you have done, a genuine happiness reaction for the immense amount of social impact you created. And I think that's one of the most important things. Really be happy and passionate about what you're doing. So this is a bit more when it comes to if you're going to do a project which like handling donations, you're probably going to need this vital thing. Additionally, you'd probably need to like have financial transaction evidence through receipts in a way which prevents someone in your team to misuse it or even someone outside to misuse finances. since I think this is really valuable, because obviously when you're like dealing with a lot of money, you need to make sure you have security on it so that none of it gets lost. So this is just additionally if you're going to do any project that happens to have donations dealing with it.
And sometimes also foundations will ask for that. So foundations, if you receive a grant, not always, but quite often they will give you a grant, and they will also ask you to show them how you plan to use that money. So it's good to keep that transparency sheet as well.
Yeah, definitely, Miss Anna, because I think it's really vital that you're dealing with something that's like you need a security for. You're dealing with money, and essentially you need to make sure you're transparent when it comes to the transactions and donations. You might have a genuine like wanting to help people, but you need to make sure that everything you do is secure. So that's just an additional thing you guys would probably need to remember. And in other words, putting the project to action. We have finally reached this. So in other words, it's project go time. At this point, you need to know where and when you're going to initiate your project. You've got all the other steps covered. And here, for example, let's say your project focuses on helping the elderly and focuses on places like that. An ideal place would be, let's say you schedule in a care home. Yeah, you'd probably schedule in a care home to help elderlies in the weekend with your members to help them. So basically at this point, you're just getting your project up and going. And if you need to decide on a couple of other things, like how are you going to get there? Transport, bus, train, bicycle, cycling, or by walking? Would you go there with your teammates or would you go individually? If you're planting something or if you're collecting something or cleaning beaches, you need a lot of equipment, trash bags, pots, shovels, lots of different things. So you probably need to get those things and all the right equipment ready as well. So that's another thing to do. As well as that, you probably need a lot of tasks. You need to figure out how are you going to distribute the tasks among members? How are you going to give them tasks and responsibilities within a time frame? Because not everyone has the whole day. You need to get it done by the day. So you need to make sure that you have everything organized to make sure you give the maximum effort with the least amount of time. So last but not the least, we have reached the final step, recording data and sharing it with others. And once you have your social impact project up and going, recording data on it can be a really important and useful thing. I know not many people do this, but this is like really important because it's optional, but I think it's still pretty vital when it comes to social impact projects. Recording data through pictures, videos, you could like
testimonials, for example, like the people you're working with, asking for their testimonial on how has this project impacted your life, for example. That's also collecting data.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I think in HundrED as well, like when you're applying for HundrED, you need to have like what you did, social impact projects or anything you did that would help you to join. So if you're joining a foundation or an organization that's worldwide and known, you'd probably need that because it's a way of helping prove yourself to them that you have actually had experience doing this. And also it's really helpful because I'm sure you've seen like a lot on social media, people sharing projects they've done, and that's because they want to show the results they've done, the impact they've created, as well as that. I'm pretty sure looking at that would motivate you. Like when you see it, you'll be like, oh, wow, I want to do that too. So it could also be a great motivation for other people, encouraging them as well to get on with the social impact project. So in all ways,
that in addition to that, I think that it's a great tool as well to get more funding for like to show like to get partners, for example, to get more volunteers to work with you. So it's a great way of showing.
Yeah, definitely, Miss Anna, because I think if you're going to create like a really big project, like I think there was something called Project Seas, and where they used a lot of donations from a lot of people to help. So if you're going to create a big project or just anything that will probably need funding, you'd probably need to share it on social media to get other people interested into funding it. So at HundrED, I remember them doing like lots of things like that. So just just record data, and sharing it with others can be a really important step. I did a lot in that. So yeah, sharing it with friends, family, and pretty much. So something I did that was the Green Dream Project, where we encouraged the cultivation of fruits, vegetables in different people's garden to prevent the risk of infection. Because as you know, in the pandemic, there were lots of infection going. So when less people go to the supermarket because they got more vegetables and fruits at home, they would probably not go as much, which would reduce infection. As well as that, it would help give more organic food for people to eat. We also did a same section, which was for large growing trees to help give back the amount of oxygen we've used to the environment, to help supply more huge amounts of oxygen to us living beings. So there was another interesting part about that. So really just remembering how to do that would be vital. As well as that, I previously mentioned, you can evaluate your progress in the tree planting projects. For example, so I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, I feel like that would be better. So in this picture, I made a little table because I was doing a tree development in 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, where they could like upload a picture for showing the progress of their trees, so that it really helped us to see how much of an impact it created. Also, to give a little bit more motivation to them, I brought in the concept that I awarded certificates for those who showed remarkable contribution. And I also told them that, in a way, having a tree is kind of like having a child. I don't know, I'm just saying. Because it's almost like taking care of your pet, taking care of your tree. So if you love your tree like your parents love their children, you're just going to get the desire to protect it even more. I know that's a bit of a weird concept, but I think that it basically means loving your tree, loving your plants, and just helping them grow. It's great. So because of this project, I had received feedback from my members because I don't really know if you know, but there was an economic crisis in Sri Lanka before, and this project apparently really did a big hit because it helped people, since they had plenty of food in their gardens and they didn't have to go to the store as much. So it really helped a lot of people. And I just wanted to bring in that a bit. So recording your data is similarly valued. I already went through that. And that's pretty much all the steps covered, and on how you can create and get your own social impact project up and running. So if you guys have any questions or anything else, please feel free to put it in the chat box.
Or you can as well turn your microphones on if you want.
You can turn on your
Yeah. Binara, how could people learn more about the Green Heart Foundation? Do you have a Facebook page or a website?
I do actually have a Facebook page and a Gmail account as well, which I think I'll share it in Discord.
Okay.
In the general chat section for anyone who would like to join the foundation, or anyone who would like to just talk about it to help start their own foundation. Maybe just they could email me or just talk about it. Thank you.
Tarup has a question or a comment. So
yeah, hi. So it's like relating to the Green Heart Foundation. So while you were like conducting the presentation, I like looked online for a bit to like, you know, like inquire into your foundation, and I thought it was really cool. And so there was a part where it says like volunteer, but I wasn't able to find a section where it was like where it had more information on like how I could volunteer. So like, could you like explain that?
I think if I'm right, the website is still undergoing some changes. So if you go into the website and do it, I think it won't work. So I think in a similar way, I would share my Gmail, my email address, so then you could send that you want to be a volunteer or any other things to that, and then I would answer it through. I think, yeah, if you're, which country are you from, by the way? Like, which country are you from?
I'm from Lebanon, but I'm currently living in Saudi Arabia.
Cool. So actually we've been wondering of like expanding our foundations to different countries. So I would really love to talk you through email to like maybe even create a Green Heart Foundation branch in your country to like help.
Yeah, of course.
The foundation, yeah. So I would share my Gmail and things like that to help you guys connect.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I would, and I'm always trying to like help promote through HundrED and Green Heart Foundation because HundrED done a lot for me and I really want to give back. So I think, yeah, that'd be really cool. Does anyone have any other questions or just things they want to share? Okay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, at the beginning of the session, if you guys could remember, I said that you could write down a couple of things you were interested about and maybe even create a little brief on a social impact project you guys would like to start. So if anyone want to share an idea on that, you could chat in the chat box or unmute and say about it. It would really help. If anyone.
And also, I'll use this moment to remind, if you haven't, to remind you to fill that Google form where I have asked you about like your own interests, so that I could partner you up in different groups to go deeper into your plans.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear, Lena, that you're interested in SDG 14. Which one was SDG?
Water and sanitation, right? Yeah, clean water and sanitation.
Oh, cool. So maybe you could do things on
Life below water. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do projects on like conserving water and really making it so I think there was something called microplastics that are in the ocean that are making it more harmful for humans. So figuring out a way on like to get rid of the microplastics could maybe be a place to start. Or really, there are like lots of different inspiring things on the internet you could search up for. Life below water, yeah, that's a really good SDG, I think. That's something I'm concerned about as well. Aquatic life and just it's really great. So yeah, I think that's interesting. So something I wanted, since if you guys would, I made a Google form, sorry, Microsoft form, I keep forgetting that, Microsoft form. It's called Social Impact Project, and I'll be sharing the link in the chat box. Where is it? I want the chat box. I found it. Yeah. I wonder where is it? Yeah. So if you guys could maybe go to the link basically has 4 questions on what your name is, your country of origin, what you thought of the session, just basic feedback, and finally what you want to do about your social impact project, just giving an idea. So if you guys could do that, it would really mean a lot, because I think it'll help give you guys an idea as well on what social impact project. So you guys can fill this form at any time and then just submit, but you can just do it through this week and then submit to me, because it'll be good for me as well, so I know feedback on my own session. Yeah, I think this is just how it looks like. I showed a picture of it to you. So yeah, it was really memorable event. Yeah, it was really amazing to do the pop-in session today. I had so much fun talking to y'all. Thank you so much for joining this session. Oh, also feel free to add me on Discord if you guys just want to talk more about this, or even just to talk about your HundrED experience so far. And yeah, I'm really grateful for this opportunity again, Miss Anna, because I love HundrED and I'm happy to do this pop-in session today. So thank you so much, and hope you all have a great rest of your day. So yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining.